good morning to you. This is Neil, founder in Car, and today we will discuss 6 topics that are very important for you to know. So I will give them to you in a brief order about working hard and what is really purpose and self-worth, then the ways that you can see the world, and taking self-responsibility, how to speak, when to speak, and the last one about help. So giving, asking, and accepting help. So without further ado, let's start this video. So first I said something about working hard, and hard work is needed to be effective, of course, as an employee, but also if you're starting your own business. But there are 2 ways to do it. If you work hard because you don't care about something, you will feel stress. If you work hard but you love the thing that you do, oftentimes this is not called stress, it's called passion. That being said, if you work hard for someone that you love, it might not be passion, but will just add additional stress and strain. And why is that? Because this cannot fail. So please take that into consideration as well. But if you come from a place of passion, this is a completely different set than a place of stress. And for in both situations you will work hard, stress to relieve the stress and just go on, to live through this moment. But with passion you work hard because you really love it and you want to take it to the next level. So that's lesson 1 about hard work and what would be the best way to start that. The second one is a little bit intertwined. It is about purpose. So what's your purpose in life? What attributes to your self-worth? And a lot of people think, okay, this is my job, I do this and that makes my self-worth because I can do this and that. And of course that makes you valuable to the company, makes you valuable at your job, but it's not the same as your self-worth. Your self-worth is much bigger, it's alleviated. It could be a higher purpose. It could be that you want to bring something really nice into the world, you want to take care of your family, you want to be a good worshipper of your God. Of God there's only one. So that's, please alleviate. And why is that? Because if you think your self-worth is intertwined with your job, if your job stops, then also what will it do with your self-worth? It will not be a good thing, of course. It will have very detrimental effects on your self-worth, and that's not something that you want. So your purpose is a lot bigger than your job. So your purpose is a lot bigger than your job. That brings us to the third point. There are multiple ways to see the world, and I will illustrate this. A lot of these lessons are also being taught by Simon Sinek, and you might know him from Apple. So that gives you a little bit more of a context.
Na 800 meter,
It could
houd
be
links aan, richting Maastricht. Daarna, houd links aan.
It could very well be that you, for example, have had an interaction. For example, you did some jogging, like Simon Sinek says. Like Simon Sinek said, that you did some jogging, you did a run, and then at the end you could get something for free. And in this case, you could get free bagels.
Na 500 meter, houd links aan.
And he said to his colleagues,
Houd links aan, richting Maastricht.
he said to his colleagues, come get some free bagels. And then his colleague said, yeah, but look at the line is too long. And then he said, free bagel. So again stressing the bagel, and then the line is just too long.
E25, richting Maastricht, gedurende 14 kilometer.
Sorry for that. So I will take this illustration again from the top. So either you see the free bagels, like Simon says, from Die Hard, the quote. Simon says, free bagels, and his colleague says, look at the line, it's so long. So there are two ways to look at things. One is looking at what you want to get. In this case, the free bagel or the candy or whatever. And the other thing is what is obstructing you to get there, and that's the line. And both can have their virtues. So Simon Sinek of Apple will, of course, focus on the bagel, what you want, and getting there. So don't see the obstruction, but just getting there, and that will motivate you. While the obstruction can demotivate you. But the other way can also be beneficial, as long as you don't let it demotivate you. And how's that? If you see the obstructions, you see also what you need to take away to make the whole process a lot more efficient, or even help you getting there. Because if the line would be unlimited, Simon would never reach his free bagel, of course. But if you see the obstructions, then you can also see a way through them or to bypass them. There's also a lesson that Simon teaches us in an indirect way. He says you can play with the rules, you can even break the rules, as long as you're not obstructing other people to get to their goal. But when you're cutting the line, in this example, you will of course be an additional obstruction to the people behind you in the line. It might be very small, but you will be an additional obstruction. So this does not hold true completely. Oftentimes by bypassing you will of course also halt some other people to get to the goal or make it harder for them. But hey, that's the lesson he tried to convey. Then there is another topic, and that's very interesting. I will illustrate this again. There was the Black Death of child death. This was child death in the childbed. So children were being born, oftentimes they died, but especially their mothers would be dying. And often between giving birth and then 2 days, so 48 hours later, they would die. And the doctors were quite puzzled, because this was a phenomenon that really wrecked a lot of Europe, because children were born but there were no mothers to care for them. And that would also lead to a lot of adults dying, the mothers dying, but also would lead to children dying, younger children dying, but also these babies, of course, because there was no mother to feed them, give them breastfeeding, etc. And what was the case? The doctors were also puzzled, so they studied those that died the day before and try to dissect them and do all the other stuff, and then look into giving birth in the afternoon. And then there was a person who said it might be that you bring something into the patient, the living patient again, from the dead patient, but it took 30 years for them to get through this message. And what they did then is they washed their hands and sterilized their equipment. So for example, the scalpels that they used to make incisions, and then the Black Death of childbed, it just went away. It just went away. In most cases people will not die anymore, especially the mothers. So it's important to also look at yourself. Sometimes you are the problem. You think you are the solution to the problem, like the doctors thought, because they were investigating the problem all the time, but they were also causing the problem again for the next day, or the day after, because they also were interacting with live humans that they would then contaminate with these bacteria, viruses or whatever that was causing that mortality to begin with. So it's important to also look at yourself and see that sometimes you are the problem. Then a lesson about speaking. Oftentimes when you're in a management team meeting, you will see a lot of dominance and a lot of people taking the words and even cutting right to the chase, so bypassing everything and then telling the team the solution they thought of. But this is oftentimes not the best thing. It can be if you have very limited time, but it should not be your modus operandi. And why is that? You should first understand the problem and also understand the solution that everyone in the room is advising. So some people will speak before you, and that's a good thing. And you will be the last one to speak. And why is that? Being the last one to speak has several benefits. One is it will give you the information of all those around the table and their vision. Two is there is a room for everyone to ventilate that opinion, so they will feel being heard, which is a good thing. And the third thing is, by you speaking at the end, you will incorporate all those wisdom, and you will also let everyone know that you heard their opinions, and then speak very wisely. And you can also intertwine some of the solutions that they gave.
Rechtsaf.
So that's a
Richting
very
centrum.
important lesson. And that lesson is also conveyed by Nelson Mandela. He's universally accepted as a leader. And why is that? Because he also demonstrates his technique, and that's important for us to do as well. That brings me to the last point, help. So it's very good that you act as a team. You should not be acting alone and try to do everything alone on your way, because that way you will be far less
Na 800 meter rechts afslaan.
Far less
Richting
effective.
centrum. Daarna links afslaan.
in doing the things that you need to do. If you, for example, take a team, this can be wild geese, and you see that they
Rechts
fly
afslaan.
in a V formation, and by flying in a V formation, they are able to break the wind a lot more, and by doing so, they are acting a lot better than they would do just alone. And that's the same what you can do. Perhaps you can
Na
get somewhere
1,6 kilometer.
faster
Afslag
alone,
richting knooppunt Europaplein.
but you will get there better and have more effect and more impact if you act as a team. And that's the message I try to put across. So try to help others, but also ask for help. A lot of people will not ask for help, but once they do, they will see that there is an entire community that wants to help and will step in once you ask them to help you. You say, okay, I want to do this, but I'm just not able to do so. Please help me, and they will. And then it's also for you to accept that help. So embrace it and work together. It's the same in the military. The lessons that they learn there, and for example the Navy SEALs, but it can also be Marines, Marine Berets, whatever rocks your boat. Also in the earlier times, the Spartans, they had a close formation, their shields overlapping, also the Romans. And that way they could help each other become safe, and were quite a force to be reckoned with and hard to beat. And that can be the same with you. So I hope these lessons are helpful for you, beneficial to you, and will also convey this message of hope. Offer help, make the difference, but also ask for help and accept it. Because without acceptation, on either side, you will not get to the goal. Hope
Na
this helps.
400 meter.
Foundry
In de
car
afslag
out.
verder